Well, the New York Times is doing something it largely avoided earlier, covering the Hunter Biden laptop controversy. It's a story many in the mainstream media still ignore. We brought it to you right on time back a long time ago now. Fox News media analyst and host of Fox's Media Buzz, Howard Kurtz, is here with details on the Gray Ladies about face. Howie, good evening. What new information do we have on this investigation of Hunter Biden?
Brett, what's most surprising is the source, the New York Times. During the campaign, most of the mainstream media treated any story about Joe Biden's son and his dealings with Ukrainian energy giant Burisma as radioactive. But here's the Times saying, A, a federal grand jury is still hearing testimony in the criminal case, B, that criminal charges may include not just tax evasion, but violations of lobbying and money laundering rules, and C, that Hunter Biden recently told associates he took out a loan to pay off more than $1 million in back taxes, undoubtedly to minimize the chances of prosecution.
Sure, but why had these allegations gotten so little traction?
Well, let's remember when the New York Post first reported on possibly incriminating emails from a Hunter Biden laptop, NPR's managing editor said, we don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories. Politico ran a piece 2 weeks before the 2020 election headline, Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo. Dozens of former intel officials say. Joe Biden agreed with that now discredited theory. What's more, Twitter blocked anyone from sharing the New York Post reporting and later admitted that was a mistake. Facebook minimized its distribution, but the one skeptical Times now says it has obtained and authenticated emails that appear to have come from Hunter's laptop left in a Delaware repair shop.
Authenticated, that's the key word there. Now, where does this case go from here?
Well, that's not clear. Hunter Biden has denied wrongdoing, and the Times says prosecutors face a number of hurdles in bringing an indictment over Hunter's work in Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and for a Chinese energy conglomerate, and might just file civil charges for lobbying violations. But the saga can no longer be dismissed as some right-wing media crusade now that a major newspaper has confirmed these troubling details. Brett?
Howie, as always, thank you.
Sure.
You know, we're back with the panel, Ben, Leslie, and Hugh. Let's just put this in perspective through the prism of the time that it was. This is a presidential election. Everything that pops up on either side is covered except this. This was not covered. In fact, it was shut down. Let's go back to the second presidential debate in Nashville. Take a listen.
There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
Is this where you're
exactly
going?
What
this is
told.
where he.
It's pretty amazing, Ben, if you think back to that time and how egregious it is now.
And I'm more troubled by the other people mentioned in this incident than I am actually by Joe Biden. Joe Biden defending his own record or the record of his son is something that I think a lot of people are used to coming from politicians. But look at what big tech did when it came to this story, shutting down debate. You couldn't even direct message the stories in question on Twitter. And when it came to the media conglomerate, they dismissed everything associated with it. And then finally, the intel authorities that you made reference to, the fact that you had so many former heads of the CIA and of major intel agencies signing on to something saying without any basis that this was a Russian disinformation plot is absolutely abhorrent, and it's a testament to how much trust in those institutions and our very important intel work has completely been demolished over the past couple of decades. It's absolutely abhorrent all the way around.
I mean, I think we should go talk to as many of the 50 former intelligence officials as we can and get them on the record about what they were doing and saying and signing on to. The New York Post, we should point out, broke this story. They have a piece out. Now that Joe Biden's president, the Times finally admits Hunter's laptop is real. Authenticated, you don't say. You mean a newspaper actually does reporting on a topic and doesn't just try to whitewash coverage for Joe Biden. It discovers it's actually true. I guess the tech part of this, Hugh, is really, really amazing.
When and if the House goes to Republican control, they've got to bring in Twitter and Facebook, because Twitter and Facebook no doubt interfered with the 2020 election in the same way that the Russians interfered with the 2016 election. Now, 2016 was not close. Trump won going away. 2020 was whisper thin. So what Twitter did and what Facebook did undeniably had an impact on the election. I'd point out that they're attempting to minimize Hunter Biden's exposure right now, but it's not just the Foreign Agents Registration Act, it's the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, it's the Al Capone tax evasion stuff, it's the False Statements Act. He's in a world of hurt, as are every single person that conspired with him to conceal this. I can't wait for those hearings, Brett. We have to get Twitter and Facebook on notice that they cannot do this to our election again.
Leslie,